Wanted to give y'all a little update down here in Tulsa, man. Let me tell you something, man. All that BS that we done heard on the mainstream, all these so-called outside historian Negroes that, let me tell you something about Tulsa, man. A lot of folks, when it was getting real big, far as the information they was doing, all these stories about the mainstream, your so-called top tier historian Negroes and historians, they wasn't talking about shit. Y'all got to get down there and talk to Terry Backus, a descendant of Muscogee Creek that really knows the story. So I'm going to give y'all, I'm not editing nothing. I'm going to give y'all the full footage of all the information I got from Tulsa, far as black folks being primary through the Trails of Tears and all of that. All the information I found out, not from no damn book, not from, I'm talking about descendants, where he could point to his descendants on them walls in Oklahoma. And he was telling me, I said, well, where did most of them black folks come from? He said the Trails of Tears. Most of them black folks came through the Trails of Tears that founded Oklahoma, that founded these all black towns and made Oklahoma what it was. So y'all are going to get to see that in this, little mini doc that I'm gonna make. So I'm not editing nothing. I'll just raise the volume up or whatever. I might make some shortcuts, but I'm not modifying anything. So you gonna get to hear the questions from a real historian, somebody that didn't just pop up out of nowhere, that's from the soil, that got a couple hundred years of lineage down here in Tulsa.
high-quality architecture. The new neighborhood will be located just off of Highway 117 near South Watchorn Street and East Grayson Avenue. They're set to break ground on March 27th. Rally organizers previously told us the recognition from the national publication is encouraging. They said having this event on the USA Today list will help spread Black Wall Street's message to even more people. This year's Black Wall Street rally is scheduled for May 14th through the 16th.
Broken Arrow's Vanguard Academy held their STEAM night tonight. Students at the STEM-focused high school got to show off a variety of projects. One of their
It is not funny. It's about them cheap brothers all the way from Memphis. Boy, what you talking about? Them cheap brothers. They acting like they doing you a favor coming and sit in your chair, letting you go through their dusty country ways. And then they got the nerve not to check. Like them some sort of signpost stamped in.
They could have spent their money somewhere else.
Could, but they didn't. And then you know why? Why? Because I'm the best barber on this side of the tracks. Hey, listen to this boy here, and y'all know I ain't lying about that.
I thought I was finished.
You up?
All right, y'all, so we at Black Wall Street. This is the Greenwood Rising Black Wall Street History Center. Make sure y'all come down here. This is the historic Greenwood district. Get some pictures. Trying to get some pictures when ain't nobody in the way. It's Archer and Greenwood. Legendary. All right, we in the Greenwood district. I'm about to see how many people is out in this soul food spot. It's another beautiful black-owned business right here. So let's see how many people is out and about. Okay, they down here. Got a lot going on down here, which is good.
You're lying. It wasn't just like you and
This is Archer. Look at Eastern Archer, right? There's a curve around there. You can't see. I wish a car would come, but there's another highway that run north that we don't see it from here, right?
Okay.
We can't see that highway neither. See if this car go past the railroad track, it's gonna do what I'm talking about. I guess it will.
Okay.
So there's another highway, and the curve and the road curve around, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so all that's part of the district too. There was a church that set up there, right? And the church that set up there was called First Baptist North Tulsa.
Okay.
They didn't burn it or they didn't do nothing to it because it said it looked too good to be a nigga church. And this is in 21, right? So the church moved in the 50s though. So when they was getting ready to put the highway through and everything, the planning, they eventually moved to another location here in the Greenwood district, right? Okay. So y'all know when the massacre took place?
1921, right?
Okay, come here.
Okay.
Come here. I don't know if y'all can see it. It's kind of hard to see it from this angle right now.
Okay.
You see on this building?
Yeah.
What does it say up there?
Historic Greenwood District.
No.
Oh, the building, Black Wall Street.
No.
Williams
building. What does it say on top of it? Can you read it?
1822.
1922.
1922.
So, right after the massacre, people built right back over again.
Oh, okay.
So this building, so y'all remember going in here?
Yeah.
Okay, y'all remember the area where you was in here?
Right.
And you heard the people talking about what happened?
Right.
And then you went to another area and you looked at a wall and it looked like it was burnt out and everything?
Yeah.
This is this corner.
Okay. Greenwood and Archer.
Yeah, this is the very corner.
Okay.
In that building. So they built back over again. And there's like 3 good reasons why they was able to build back again. First, it was oil money.
Okay.
And the more money trickled down real good. So we had our professionals, our doctors, our lawyers and all that. We also had the infrastructure where we was able to build, right?
Yeah.
And so we had that, but for the most part, people worked in the service industry.
Okay.
Right? And they brought that money back into Greenwood and they began to build. Secondly, have you ever heard of the Indian Removal Act?
Oh, with the Trail of Tears.
Trail of Tears. For the most part, that was us in the Trail of Tears.
So you said your great-grandfather...
My great-great-grandfather.
He was... you said he was...
He was Creek, but they had him as Freedmen. But my grandmother, which was her grandfather, right? She was Muscogee Creek back blood. That's how it's listed.
Okay.
So I'm Muscogee Creek back blood. All right. Y'all heard? Okay.
So you was in, so that whole Supreme Court thing we just seen just a little bit ago.
So some of my families is fighting for that.
Okay.
Some of my family, I don't have to fight like that because I'm by blood.
Okay.
You follow what I'm saying?
Like the quantum blood law or something different?
I'm just blood. Like they got quantum on it, but that's a lie too.
Right.
When they was taking it, they was dropping people's stuff down. Right.
Right.
Okay. Hey, come here. Can y'all hear me? So I was just telling him how in 1922 that building went back up and the massacre happened in 21, right? And it was because of oil money, right? And the oil money trickled down. And then people that worked in the service industry, they worked and brought that money back into Greenwood. Greenwood, we had an infrastructure, our plumbers, the electricians and all that to build. Plus we had our professional doctors and lawyers. We had that, but it had not been for those people going across the tracks and working in the white community and bringing their money back, that good oil money back in here, it never would have, built like the way it was, right? But secondly, I was just telling about the Trail of Tears. Y'all familiar with the Trail of Tears? The Indian Removal Act, y'all not familiar? Okay, in 1830, Andrew Jackson signed an executive order, right, for the removal of Indians out of the southeastern part of the United States, out of South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana, and brought them all to present-day Oklahoma. So for the most part, that was us that was in the Trail of Tears.
So, okay, if you could expound on the Indian Wars, which they call, which they didn't want to let it be known that it was black folk. They called them Indian Wars.
Right.
So them Seminoles down there that was kicking Andrew Jackson's behind.
Right, they didn't want to leave. But they eventually left and came back.
Now they was in
Florida.
They was in Florida.
Right.
Now, do you know anything that happened to like the Dismal Swamps? Remember George Washington had us drain the swamps.
Right.
Was there any connection to the Maroons up there, or not really?
It could have been. Yeah, okay. because it was all one people actually from the beginning. It was all one people.
Okay.
Melanated people here in the country, right?
Right.
Come on, let's move on.
All right. Okay.
Come on, we're gonna move on. That phrase on the other side of the tracks.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we're on the other side of the tracks now.
All black men.
We on the other side of the tracks, right?
Okay.
So y'all know the story of Dick Rowland and Sarah Page.
Not really.
You don't know the story of the guy, the shoe shine guy, and the girl in the elevator?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna cut through the chase, right? So 3 months later, after everything was burnt down, right? Y'all listening? 3 months later, after everything was burnt down, Dick Rowland was released from jail, right? Dick Rowland was released from jail. Him and Sarah Page, they left Tulsa, Oklahoma together. Come on.
Well, wait a minute. So,
Come on.
you talking about the woman that they said that he was in a relationship with her?
Yeah, they left together.
Oh, man.
Us in Greenwood and Curtin, we know that, right?
So it was a consensual. Listen.
Listen. It was in 1921, right? So.
That could be made known outside.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but here's the thing: he's a shoe shine guy, right? So shoe shine guy kind of know what's going on.
Right.
Okay. So she worked in the elevator, right? So if a woman working in the elevator, I don't care if my grandmother, my mother, my sister, my wife, my 4 or 5 girlfriends, if they working in the elevator, they working. That went over your head, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. He was so confused.
Okay.
You follow me?
I get you.
You get me? So he a shoe shine guy. He kind of know what's going on. So he didn't want to hear that from her. So she had something to tell him in the elevator, and he didn't want to hear it. So he left out hastily. By him leaving hastily, a store clerk seen it.
Okay.
A store clerk made the allegation. She never did. She was crying because she wanted to tell him that she was with child. And he didn't want to hear that.
Okay.
And so he left with the quickness.
And they threw him in jail.
Huh?
They
come get him. So they come get him. That was May 30th. On May 31st, there was a story came out and said, lynch a nigga tonight.
Okay.
Right? So when that happened, they changed the story to nab a nigga for attacking a girl in the elevator. It was too inflammatory.
Right.
So they pulled and put another one out. So when they came and got him, they brought him in jail. But the guys that fought in World War I, the black guys, they understood the Second Amendment. You know what the Second Amendment is?
Yeah, very on.
Right, very on. So they went downtown. Not to break him out or nothing like that, but they went downtown to say, y'all not gonna hang him.
Right.
And so a young white tried to take a gun from a black. And when he tried to take the gun from a black, the shot rang out and they began to fight. They began to fight in different pockets in Greenwood. Right, but the thing is, we winning. We always win, right? Melanated people always win. We in football, basketball, academia, entertainment. We always win, right? Just win. You follow me?
Yeah.
And so, but they had a plan. The white people had a plan, and the plan was to deputize every available white to come do whatever they wanted to do. That's why it was never nobody prosecuted, because it was basically deputies.
Government sanctioned execution.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And so. See that track right there, the railroad track?
Yeah.
Every morning, a train would come and at that sound, that's when they made their approach the next morning, June 1st. And they began to light fires everywhere throughout the whole district, right? And do whatever they wanted to a black man, a black woman, a black kid, right? You feel me? Yeah. And so by daybreak, the planes came. And the planes, wherever the fires were at, that's when they were dropping the Molotov cocktails off at. Okay. Bombs, they was dropping. Dropping.
All day long?
All day long.
How many planes was it?
So I could have been 4, 5, 6, Could have been that many.
Military?
No, there was the military came. No, so the military came, the National Guard, but they didn't stop nothing.
Okay, just let them do whatever they want to do.
Right, what they did, they took the weapons from the black men and marched them into internment camps.
Oh, I seen that in the thing. I didn't know they did that. They did that.
Yeah, they marched them in internment camps. Then they was able to go do what you want to do. And they systematically burnt everything down.
So the military stood by and just watched it all.
So they was complicit because of that. They allowed them to steal their machine guns and everything. You kind of follow what I'm saying? Yeah, they was white. If they was hanging me to this tree, they didn't stop it. Right? If they were chasing the young ladies, they didn't stop it. You know what I mean?
Man.
They was cruel.
There was a brother that I had a conversation with right here. He said his people from here. He said that Bones was buried there. Can you talk?
Now Bones, it could have been because it was gangsters down here. Don't believe everything. You believe everything you hear. It was gangsters on Greenwood. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, come on now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's for real though. For real. So they put these buildings on the national. It took over 100 years to put this up there. Over 100 years. Well, other places, it's a building. I'm going to show it to y'all later when we walk up. They've been on the National Register 40 years for these buildings there, but it was always, those are not the, the original buildings, but they are, right? So like, when you turn stuff down, you just turn down where it's stable. And you build back up. Brick makes it 101, you build it back up. Be cost efficient. Hey, I want to get a picture of y'all right there. Is that all right?
So this is the actual brick.
It's rubble.
In this particular spot.
No, what I mean is this is rubble from the massacre. They put this facade back up when they built back out again. It wasn't already sitting there like that. Follow me?
Yeah.
Come on, fam. I want to get a picture of y'all. I'll get a picture of y'all too. There's another business around the corner. Only two businesses remain from the rebuild. This barber shop and the business around the corner. I'm gonna show it to you. Not at this location, but it was further up the road. But when they tore everything out, doing the rebuild. And if you look over the top of those cars in the back there, you see a sign on that building say the Oklahoma Eagle.
Yeah.
That's a newspaper, black newspaper, right? So that are the only two that's left in the community. That business and that Oklahoma Eagle. Come on,
I see way over there.
So have you ever heard that song about Bobby Womack?
Yeah.
Across 110th Street.
110th Street.
This was across 100 during its zenith, like from like 35 to like 70. This is where everything went on there.
He was talking about Tulsa.
No, he wasn't talking about Tulsa. It was New York. On the 10th in New York. So he was just talking about, so what I'm trying to make you understand is there was a lot going on down here. Yeah, they could have found a body back there, but it wasn't, who to say it came from, They was throwing people away, burning them up. They wasn't, you know what I mean?
Right.
During the era, when the massacre took place. But I want to show y'all something. So this is a small section, right? So y'all see that building that the fathers worn out, like it got a roof on top of it?
Yeah.
From that building back to where we are, every inch, every centimeter, every millimeter of land was once owned by Negroes up until 1970s. Urban renewal, enemy domain took all the property from blacks. Where those buildings are, all that was owned by Negroes. This is a small section of the District 2. When we walk on farther up, y'all gonna see more. Come on, we're gonna go in here. I think I locked this back up. Have a seat.
Okay.
See, I have a basement. Let's see. Y'all picked the right day to come on. It's a lot of people out here today.
A century ago, this neighborhood in Tulsa, Oklahoma was known as Black Wall Street. This is Greenwood Avenue, the heart of Black Wall Street. It was one of the few places in the then heavily segregated United States where blacks were prospering. In 1921, a white mob attacked Greenwood, destroying nearly every building and killing up to 300 people. But for decades, no one seemed to want to talk about it. Enter Terry Backus, also known as
The mayor of Greenwood.
That's not a real job, but the mayor has been on a very real mission, creating this homemade mini museum. It begins in the early 20th century when African Americans created their own haven in Greenwood.
It was a place of wealth, a place of prosperity, a place of culture, a place of black excellence.
Then the attack. The photos can be hard to look at.
Humiliation. So they wanted to humiliate you like, I got you.
But the exhibit is about much more than just tragedy.
The exhibit tracks Greenwood's history
From prosperity to the disaster of the 1921 massacre to the neighborhood's rebuilding and rebirth. In the years after the massacre, there was still intense racism, including the rise of the Ku Klux Klan. But blacks rebuilt and Greenwood thrived again. But in the 1970s, so-called urban renewal put a highway through Greenwood and the neighborhood struggled.
You know, like Greenwood been on life support to me for the last 50 years. Country, but to do it here, everything in front of the highway, we understand got to go, right? We understand that. But the adjacent neighborhoods, this is in a white community, it stayed. Watch. So remember I told you about the North Highway just right there going? There was North Highway, watch this. Remember I told you it was a curve? That's that curve right there. See it? That's that curve. We stood right out here, right? Y'all been walking up and down this little area all day today. You know, that's what's left. Watch. I'm gonna show y'all what they did. Now we understand it now. What's in front got to go. The neighborhoods, they stayed. I mean, that's cool. But for the blacks, our neighborhoods didn't stay at all. As they begin to build out, they go to the North Highway. Everything west of the North Highway, that same highway out there window right there, this is it. Watch everything start leaving. Y'all see it leaving? We're in this building now. Look at it leave. All that's Greenwood District.
Oh man.
See them homes gone? It's gone. Now we back out of it, stuff stay. You see it?
Yeah.
We back out, watch it stay. There's a pond over here that we understand got to go because it's in the pathway. But there's a school right here, Roosevelt. It's still there today. These homes, watch what changed about them. Nothing but the shrubbery got thicker. The trees bigger. This is a street called Charles Page Boulevard, leads you all the way to Sand Springs. Watch this. They could have easily took that highway and put it on stilts. Ain't nothing really right there. And put it on stilts. And came across like this, but they didn't. They intently went into Greenwood. That's their railroad track.
Wow.
Ain't there something? They did everybody like that, but to do it in Tulsa, after you done burnt them down, now they just took the property. They just flat out took it. Eminent domain to everybody. And some people took that money, because that was some of the most money that they ever seen before. So yeah, just a chance to do better, you know. And they just took their money. Watch this. So this lady right here, her name is Olivia Hooker. This is 3 minutes and 10 seconds of what she seen as a kid during the time of the massacre, right? And she's the first, look her up, she's the first black woman that joined the Coast Guard in the United States of America. She could have told her story in her 20s, in her 30s, but none of them really did. They waited till they got old and almost getting ready to die, and then all of them started coming out with their stories in the late 80s, in the 90s. And so.
Why do you think they did that?
Because with so much trauma. Listen, I'm gonna tell you after when she get through, listen to what she say. You're gonna understand it. Why? Watch.
We as children didn't hear any noise or any shots the night of the 31st of May. But on June 1st, they began.
I'm sorry. Forgive me.
Of the 31st of May. But on June 1st, they began to systematically destroy neighborhoods. And they had airplanes dropping things down on people's houses, and they had made up their minds to clear the entire area of black people. So most of the people fled. When they saw houses burning.
And they say nothing out there but women and children. And she said that's when the bad things started to happen. You know what I mean? And so, just imagine it might have been 1 or 2 or 3, 4, 5 mulatto kids being born 8, 9 months later, you know? Yeah. And so they just didn't tell it. I mean, it was so much trauma. Just think about the kids now in Gaza and wherever, Iran, wherever, they gonna be traumatized their whole life. You know what I mean? You know.
So yeah, they probably just came in and just did whatever they want to do. Kids, women, no matter what.
That just, that's what they did. You know, they built that way. You know what I mean? White people, they just built that way for real. Yeah. So this is the trailer If you haven't seen it, y'all seen it, but this is the trailer.
Greenwood at one time was a giant place.
40 plus blocks was owned, operated by African Americans.
Everything was rich in Tulsa. It was the oil capital of the world.
Family had money. They ain't saying somebody's family got money that they won't be that type of person to do things to women, but that wasn't what he was about, you know.
And they were going to try to lynch him that night. We posed.
What? When y'all walked up, y'all just seen those old 100-year-old buildings, right? But it was life all the way down Greenwood. But you see what they did? It had your movie theaters, your drugstores, they had everything. And watch this. So, say you spent a $1 bill down there on that corner down there, and you wrote your name on it, and 4 months later, you down here somewhere, you go in and break that 5, and you would get your dollar bill, come back. The money just circulated like that.
I love it. Good. I love being with my community. I love serving my community. So I love it. It's fun. It's great.
Yvonne, how you doing? Enjoy your Juneteenth Father's Day festivities this weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all right. You know, you can tell. Y'all can tell tourists. Where y'all from? Hello, mother. How you doing? I'm here. Country to have the Greenwood, Black Wall Street sort of type of vibe. Everything had to be on this one street. All the black businesses like they wanted. You know, so we had to do this. Right. Greenwood became what it became because also that we was excluded and not included. You know, they were doing segregation, right? So we couldn't spend our money with whites, right? So that wino that sat down here on this corner that spent how much money he spent that day, spent the same money that the richest person in Greenwood spent because the money never left. So that money just left one hand to the next hand, to the next hand, to the next hand. It just never left. The money never left.
That I've actually seen a movie of it, you know.
Grandmother is a real, what they call a survivor. Our grandmother survived the massacre. Anytime you see writing, right, that's from the massacre. Tulsa riot, 6/1/1921. See where bricks, where they still could have got some rubber from them. But this tent was pitched there because either Red Cross did it for them or the National Guard did it. These people didn't want to really leave their property. So you had people that did it. They didn't want to go into internment camps, right? And so that's why that's like that. Then I want to show y'all this. That's not true. You ever watch that HBO special called The Watchmen? This is from The Watchmen. That's from The Watchmen. This is the actual truth from looking north from South Tulsa on the other side of the tracks. They just put this font in there, but this is true. Somebody just tried to put this up there and made some money. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. We all know about Ku Klux Klan. That could have been the church burning. But this is not Greenwood. So some of the pictures that's not Greenwood is up for culture presentation, right? So this is O.W. Gurley. You ever heard him talking about O.W. Gurley? He had the first 40 acres. And he began, when we go up north, we're gonna see some stuff that's, when they dug deep into his wife had all the stuff in her name. But that's Gurley. He had the first 40 acres and everything. That's a true picture. This is a true picture as well right here, the Tulsa race riot, right? So this is Mount Zion. You see the writing? And this was an internment camp where they took some of the people. But that's gonna always be that narrative right there. Something happened, he did something to her, where she stumbled or something, he tried to catch her. I think that's what they say. So this is a true picture right here too. You see the writing in there? You know, they just put this up, put that font in there. Yeah, that's that same picture. So somebody made a collage. They probably sold this for $100 or something, I don't know. Anything Black Wall Street, they kind of get a little money off of it. Here they is marching us once again into internment camps.
So that's where they put all the meat?
Yeah. They marching us to internment camps. These are decent pictures. Really, this picture right that's a good picture, but they put that 1921 and messed it up.
You remove black men from society on the household, and you can do whatever you want to.
So right here, I don't know if it's a drawing. If it is, they got a good. They can really draw. Cause it look like it's a drawing down there. You see the end of it. So, yeah. Come on, go back out. What were you saying, Mrs.?
Oh, disarmament of black men, right? And so when you look at what the government tries to do now to remove the black men out of the household, and you have easy access to the women and
Right.
kids, it's almost like coming back full circle.
Right. Yeah. That's they.
Incarcerating our black people
Right.
and moving them from, yeah.
Come, we're gonna go follow up Greenwood. But these are historical buildings, right? Because they're not the same as they was in 21 or in the rebuild era. They've been changed over. I think in the 70s it was gonna turn down like they did everything else, right? But they didn't go the same.
All right, one real quick question about like, there's a lot of black folks that's here in Oklahoma. Are they like originally from here by way of the Trail of Tears, or do they come from other places in the South?
In the Trail of Tears.
Okay.
Most part. Most part.
Trail of Tears.
Yeah. We indigenous people. So if you look at the world today, every major landmass, every major island chain, indigenous people look like us.
Right.
Why they didn't look like us on this landmass? It's simple. Indoctrination, what it's called. Right? They indoctrinate us. Come on, y'all gonna go this way.
So even before 1526, you're saying?
So if you ever hear them talk about the Dreamland Theater set right here. It's right here. You know, right where them trees are, those pine trees. There's some plaques out there pertaining to it. When we come back down, we'll be on that side. You'll see.
And this the highway that destroyed it.
Yeah.
Let me time out.
So this was a through street right here too, right? This was the picture you see them people marching down. They was marching down this street right here. But it had all changed now, right? A train used to come out from the back side of this building right here and go up Greenwood. See that old truck was running? Change the road. During the time when they tore everything out, when they brought the college back, they changed the whole road. So like I'm the last of a generation to know Greenwood. A real live train came up Greenwood. Come on. Even in 21, there was business here as well.
Oh, they don't charge for parking right here.
No. Park over there.
Methodist church.
You go to a Methodist church?
No.
Oh, y'all go to a gathering.
Hey, gathering. Yeah, gathering.
Go gather around. There was another story too. So this was a real street right here. She had crossover. It went right here. It was buildings like these buildings here.
Yeah.
Going down.
All this street, okay.
Yeah. So the church over there, you see the church over there?
Yeah.
That's Mount Zion Baptist. That's the church. You see smoking video?
Yeah.
That's that church, not that church.
Oh, it's not burning.
No. Burning was just a basement. This is just a basement. Set on Archer Street. I could have showed y'all that. I should have told y'all that because I do it all the time. But now it's so a lot of people gone, and so people got stories to tell. And that run the burning. I ain't gonna run the burning. Wasn't nothing down there but the basement. The burning was down there on 614 East Arts. You can pull it up. In 19 look on the cornerstone. It say basement built 1919. Cornerstone tells the truth. Right. church erected, spaced down too. Church erected 1925-26. But they did hide in the basement though.
But it was over there.
But they hid in the basement here. The little area that they had here. It wasn't nothing to burn down. But the way they tell the story, there's the full edifice. The only structure that's about, you know what I mean? It's a good story. Yeah, I'm gonna get a picture out there too, but I'm just saying, you follow what I mean? I mean, it is, though, you know, but they look at 1.5 million to make the basement a museum. I can't, when I look like going in front of TV stations and talk about, that's a lie, that just got 1.5 million. They gonna think I'm crazy, right? But when I tour with people, when they ask me, I just tell them the truth, like the way I'm telling them now. Yeah. You know.
And that's what's
good. But it's how it goes. It's a good story. Yeah, it's a good story. Turn around and face me. I'm gonna get a picture. I'm gonna get a picture of you and your family too. All right.
Okay. All right. I appreciate it. How y'all doing?
Come over here from the gas station.
I think it's like 40.
Up from 21, right? All these markers, they from 21. Yeah,
Good. Oh, that's a state university. I didn't know the university was over here.
That's the university in Tulsa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Were these all black neighborhoods way back down
all
here?
This was Negroes living. All of it.
Mabel B. Little Heritage House. Oh man. Unpaid financial claims.
Right.
3 million.
Basically.
3 million worth around that time.
Right.
Oh man. Jeez. That's how much they owe. Well, they owe more than that probably, but I'm just saying.
These are insurance claims.
Okay.
So these people, like the Williams family, they wanted to build a Dreamland Theater in that very first building. This is what their claim was, $139,000. That's over a couple of $1 million in today's money. Mm-hmm. O.W. Gurley. It was in his wife's name. It was $161,000, right? That's a couple, $2 or $3 million, right? So, but what made me believe about her was the reason everything her name is because she could have been tribal. And she probably got the first those 40 acres, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, but my grandmother got 160. My dad's sister, because she was born before statehood, and she got 80 acres, right?
Still in the family?
Yeah. Well, no, not actually. What's in the family is my grandfather knew enough when he sold it off, because she went blind in 25, and when he sold it off, 1920s. My grandparents, not great, but my grandparents was born like 1883 and 1884. I come from my own stock, right? And so, about 25, she went blind, and he sold it. But what he went back and did, because he didn't do it initially, but he went back and they awarded him 25% of the mineral rights. So every now and then, I get a check. It's gas. It's not oil. It's natural gas. Every now and then, me and my brothers and sisters, we get a little $18, $32, whatever, check. One time they sent us like a $30,000 bank drive, and my oldest sister was like, let's not cash it because it could be more money. Really, they just want us to get out of it. But we, that part of it we own. I got a cousin, me and my cousin working on getting all the land back, all the 160 back, because it was supposed to go in perpetuity. And there was so different stuff that blacks was doing when they was getting that land, like, we'll bury all your family if you give us, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that, you know what I mean? And so if you owed something, it was easy way to pay the bill because you had land, and they was that's how they took it from a lot of blacks. y'all seen the story of Sarah Rector called Sarah's Oil?
Not yet.
The young black girl who's
That
10 years
movie.
old. Yeah.
They took it from her too, huh?
Well, no, she fought, you know, like a lot of blacks fought for their land. But she sold hers to Rockefeller now.
Oh.
Yeah. Sold hers to
So they
Rockefeller.
cashed in big on that.
Right, she cashed in. She was the richest black in the world, and she was a 10-year-old child. But the thing of it is, they took custody of her.
Oh, okay.
She wasn't under custody of, you know, her guardians was white people.
When I saw that in the trailer,
Yeah.
my Spidey says, well, I said, yeah, I said, it sounds like it's going to be a white savior story.
It was here in 21. I mean, all of this was in 21. On Greenwood and through the cross streets in the whole community in 21.
Man, that's a lot of businesses. If they were still here, that'd probably be at least, what, $20 billion worth of business almost?
I mean, really, they are still here. But not in the Greenwood, but we all over Tulsa with business.
Okay.
Right, but that's why I was saying upstairs, if everything was on one street again, we'd have that concept.
Now, I wanted to ask you this earlier. I had like a long list of questions, but I left it in the car, but I'm trying to remember. With the so-called 5 civilized tribes that at one point sided with the Confederate South, now with the black folks with the Trails of Tears, when they walked them to the Trails of Tears, and some of those Indians owned slaves, but when they walked them through,
that's a lie.
That's a lie?
Because we are the indigenous people.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
They stole all our identity.
And reclassified?
They killed off all the warring clan.
Okay.
Dig what I'm saying? They killed off all of them off. And then by the time they get here, right? They didn't get here to how long y'all drive?
Yeah.
Y'all got here, what, 18 hours maybe?
10.
10, okay. They walked though. Right?
Yeah.
So it's years.
Oh, okay.
Winters, summers, smallpox. They was giving. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All the elders died off from.
So when they got here, they had nothing. They literally built Oklahoma up from the ground up. Black folk.
Right.
That's around everywhere around the country.
Right.
Okay.
So there's an old saying though: if Greenwood didn't have it, you didn't need it. Is there something? Y'all see this name right here?
Madam C.J. Walker?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she was here.
She started a business here.
I mean, you see what it say?
I didn't know that. Maybe I didn't pay attention to I don't believe Netflix, but I guess I didn't pay attention to the movie.
So a lot of stuff with her movie.
Yeah, the Netflix stuff.
I mean, you know, Papa didn't have it, and like that picture, some say that was her. In that picture here in Oklahoma, in the car with the ladies,
right.
Some said it was Tulsa. I don't know. I wasn't there. I ain't been able to, verify that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I done heard people speak that. But if y'all ever want to get a book about Greenwood, her name is Mary Jones Parrish. Her book was first published in 1923. Everything to do with the massacre, every major historian has took it from her account, who has written or wrote about Greenwood. Mary Jones Parrish. The book is called The Events of the Tulsa Disaster.
Okay, I'm gonna get that.
But now her great-granddaughter has it. I think it's A Nation Must Rise.
Okay.
That's the name of it, because they redid it. But everything is the actual book, but yeah. And
so when you mentioned Andrew Jackson,
yeah, he did executive, like your president now, doing all those executive orders. Mm-hmm. That's what Andrew Jackson did.
So
executive orders. So Barack Obama even could have did executive orders for us, but they never did.
Right? Yeah,
that's how simple it is.
Yeah, he didn't do nothing.
They didn't do nothing.
If anything, well, I'll leave that alone. But so like with the Seminoles down in Florida, when Andrew Jackson, when you had the Indian Wars, and at one point weren't we supposed to get like 160 acres for staying Catholic, and then they tried to take that, and Andrew came down to try to put us.
If that's what they say he did that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because he was just still a white guy.
Right. Okay.
So you see Mabel Little right here?
Mabel Little hairdresser. Yeah.
So she worked for C.J. Walker.
Oh, okay.
Come on, we're gonna go over here. Come on. How long y'all gonna be in town? So this home is indicative of people who had money in Greenwood. Hey,
What's that place up there? What's that?
that's a college.
Oh, that's the college. Okay.
You see it right there?
Okay.
That's a college.
Okay.
It got nothing to do with Negro. So this home is indicative of people who had money in Greenwood. This is what their homes look like.
Really?
Black folk. Sam Mackey. He listed on that wall there. Yeah.
Wow, that's a nice house, man.
So what happened was the home actually got burnt down during the massacre, right? So he rebuilt it again. He rebuilt it with nothing but brick. This house actually set up the street. Well, hey, let me get a picture of y'all right here on the steps. Let me get a picture. I get a picture of you and your family. Was a black lady that was in the massacre, that survived the massacre and everything. I go, Chief, that survived the massacre, right? And she was the one was like pushing for it to become a massacre. And so she became an icon in Tulsa over the years. And so they dedicated this home to her, right? But Sam Mackey, this is his house. And he built his house this way because his wife worked as a domestic engineer. Y'all know what that is? What is it? Yeah, maid. She's a maid, right? So he wanted his wife to come home to a comparable house that she cleaned up. Now that's love, ain't it?
Yeah.
My wife just got a shoebox, but it was full of love. What you gonna do?
Be a house full of love.
Right, full of love. Right. I'm happy I got the house I got. But you have me in the shack because you don't love me that much.
So y'all remember I told you it was a building that got put on the National Registry? That old building over there.
That one, the regular?
It got put on the National Registry. White people own that though, but
What is it?
it's just an old factory.
Okay.
Yeah, old
They
factory.
put that on the National History.
Before they did this.
Right.
Oh, they signed.
And that was just recently in 2020.
Right, I spoke at that too. It's dangerous. I used to have that on.
And how long has that been on the register?
I was just around the 80s, baby.
And that's just a factory.
It's a factory. So if you see some old pictures of the massacre, you'll see that building. So all this right here where black folks living, they changed everything. They changed cross streets and everything. There was some old markers from 21, right? All this was, so I'm just gonna tell y'all, came to Georgia. But you know how they do, they changed up. You know, let me wait on his wife and his baby. This is what I do, I walk.
Yeah, I hear you. Cause they said I'll catch up and they like you could grab.
Street right down through here. Like right there, right now we're straighten up. You see it? This is the street right here.
Okay.
You know, it's the street.
Right over that little hill.
Yeah, that's well, I'm gonna show y'all, come on. So this was the street businesses was right here behind us. Neighborhoods. There was another street called Harford that went through there. Homes and stuff was all down here. That road that these cars coming around actually was up there where the building is. And went across, was a cross street. They changed it. See my cousin, he backed out there and how old he is. He about 12 years younger than me. I go, Dean.
So you know everybody around here, pretty much.
Yep.
Man, this is a lot of blocks they took, man. Damn. Gap Band Avenue. Is that Gap Band Avenue?
So that road, not that road, but that home that's down there, this is where it's set right here. That's another marker from 21.
So before you was like doing archiving and gathering all the history and everything, was it another elder or somebody that was a little older than you that used to do the same thing and tell people?
I mean, I just learned from, as a kid, being around people, sitting at people's feet. As a youngster, I ain't gathered nothing. Everything up here.
Okay.
I don't write nothing. I can't write nothing down. That's why I did a documentary.
Man,
you know,
that's a powerful brain. That's man. But I guess if you know, you know. You know.
And I remember stuff as a kid coming into Greenwood. I'm the last of a generation.
Is there any younger guys that just kind of that's into the touring, interested in gathering the history?
There's another guy down there to give tours.
Okay.
You know, he's younger than me. You know what I mean?
Hopefully they keep that torch going and keep it going.
I mean, you know. Y'all see that traffic light down there that's red?
Yeah.
That's the end of Greenwood.
Oh.
That's the end of Greenwood.
What's the mountains way up there?
It's just a hill, ain't no mountain. It's a mountain, but that's out there, out north, farther out north.
North, okay. Now, do most of the black folks stay that way?
We live out north.
North, okay.
The northwest.
And then everybody else stay over there?
I mean, blacks live all over now.
Okay.
But prior to desegregated, right? Desegregated, this is where we were.
Okay.
And at that traffic light, across that street was white people. Right?
Okay.
Over there, on the other side of the Lansing, over there, white people. 5 blocks to the west, white people. And the railroad tracks, white people. So we was encamped about, but we was a thriving community. All black communities was like that.
Booker T. Washington down there?
So Booker T. Washington, in 51, it went northwest from here, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, watch this. It went northwest, right? We're northeast from here. There is 2 elementary schools over there and a junior high school. So on our own, we went northeast. As you know, because like my dad had a home there at Quaker and Peoria, so it was kind of an uppity neighborhoods over there, and people that was able to move out of here. Because everybody wasn't able to move until urban renewal came. And then they moved us due north and northwest in urban renewal.
Moved northeast.
On our own.
On your own, yes.
Because that's where Booker T went to school.
Yes.
Right? Booker T used to be here in the district. But by 51, it moved. And so we migrated northeast. Because there was a black community as well northeast from here, like in the country, the boondocks as they called it.
Yeah.
Right? So they migrated that away, and they migrated in. You see what I'm saying? So that the overall East Apache, Peoria, all that over there, Rockford, Quaker, Quincy, all that over there. You know what I'm saying? Blacks was over there. You know, but once they moved us out of Greenwood, right? Here's the thing: people who had business. Just imagine you've been in your business for what? Say you started in 30 after the rebuild. Hell, about 60, you've been 30 years in business. Another 10 years, they come with their money. Your kids, they want to continue. You just say, okay, retired. And so when they moved us out north, now there was shopping centers out north, right? But the thing of it is, they was occupied. They wasn't empty. So those that wanted to move their business in them couldn't. Right. So I know there was 3 major shopping centers: McLean Shopping Center, Northland Shopping Center, and Suburban Acres. That was called the suburbs, basically, north of here, right? About 4 miles north. And so, like this how cold-blooded they was. Check this out. There hasn't been a new black church that came out of the Greenwood district that built a new place during the 60s, 70s, 80s, up into the 90s probably, maybe to the early 2000s. Because when we moved out there, those white people that had churches out there, they abandoned their church buildings. So the churches in Greenwood just walked into churches. You know what I mean? That makes sense. That's how much they didn't like us when they moved us out there. Well, we ain't gonna come back to church because most churches are in neighborhoods, right? Yeah. All these churches were surrounded by neighborhoods when they was here. But they made those little smaller churches leave too. But they was able to get in churches out north. Because the white folks abandoned them. That's how Cody. But you love the Lord, right? You know, the key is to win souls no matter what, right? But you know,
They rather leave.
they left their church. Every church that you see at North Tulsa, churches came from Greenwood district. Cause about 30 or 40 of them anyway. So all those, yeah. Wow. That's a better tale than telling how the businesses, those business, 8 years later, all those shopping centers to this day ain't nothing in them to this day. Come on, they left 8-9 years after we got out there. So we got out there about 76, good. About 84, they gone. You laugh.
No, I know, because I'm laughing because a lot of the stuff you saying they did in Detroit too.
They try to say that we stole them out, but that's not the truth. They just left. Only one still going is Springdale. It's northeast from here.
Oh man.
See, it was money. Right there where the brick is, the rubber is on the building, in the 50s and 60s, her daddy had a gambling joint in there and a club, right, called the Bonneville, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, watch this. If you borrowed goods from him, good money within the community, and he knew who you were, he knew you weren't gonna mess up, he'll walk you into a downtown bank, take 10 steps in, turn around and go out. And the loan officer knew to give you a loan.
They knew.
See, them stories ain't in that magazine, that plate. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I know them stories.
I know what you're talking about.
You know. So watch this though. In 21, the same night they were supposed to have their prom. So this is Ellis Walker Woods, and who he was the man who brought Booker T to town, and Booker T the one that christened this Black Wall Street. Did you know that?
No.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't.
All the studying you do?
No, I didn't know. You got to think. All the stuff I knew is only 5% of all the stuff you told me today. You done gave me the whole.
You think so?
Yo, yeah.
So yeah. On these obelisks, this is dedicated to Booker T. Washington High School and the principal. So every obelisk go up to 1951, and then in 51, that's when they moved over. What I was talking about earlier, so it go up to everything. So it's telling stories of people who made contributions not only local but globally as well, right? And so like this man right here, Dr. George Lithcope Jr., the second. Y'all know who Jimmy Carter was?
Yeah.
He was president, right? One time. He made him the Assistant Surgeon General of the United States of America. Come from Greenwood, class of 1935. The president of the class, Booker T. Washington, right here. This man, the same street we walk, he probably walked through it sometime or another in his life, right? And so watch this. You would have won Miss Hornet because you light skinned. So I'm serious. So that's how we did each other. We did each other that way too, because all these ladies over here on this side, they light skinned. And Miss Hornet is the mascot. Hornet is a mascot, right? Of Booker T. Washington High School. So have you ever heard of John Hope Franklin?
Yeah.
He from here. Here it is right here. This joker had 130 honorary doctorates right here. That's a lot of doctorates, but that's a lot of tap dancing too. I mean, I'm just gonna tell the truth. He did great things.
How it is, man.
Yeah, he did great things though, right? He wasn't like Malcolm and Martin. He wasn't a raw guy. Get it in the books, you know what I'm talking about? So, right. I mean, class valedictorian, 31, Booker T. Washington. His daddy was B.C. Franklin. You ever heard of B.C. Franklin? B.C. Franklin is the attorney. There's a park named after him. Is that right, cuz? There's a park named after B.C. Franklin, right? And his daddy was B.C. And during the time after the massacre, the city of Tulsa and the power brokers, and they put an ordinance in and say you had to have fireproof material to build back in Greenwood again, right? But his daddy won in court in the mid-20s. Just imagine a black man winning in a racist court, right? I mean, yeah, he was tap dancing, man. I mean, 130 honorary doctors. Yeah. The average person probably get 3 in a lifetime. You know, I bet Barack ain't got 130.
No, he don't. He got 3.
I bet you Trump ain't got 100. Got 10 years.
Trump ain't got 1.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you know what I mean. So you know.
Yeah, Howard.
Yeah, Howard. Cambridge. He taught in Cambridge.
Yeah.
From right here.
Brooklyn,
Right? That's a lot, eh? So he loved Duke, right? Because Durham reminded him, he said this, not Terry, Durham reminded him of Greenwood. The little Haiti, what they live, they call it the little Haiti. North Carolina. Yeah, so in Duke, he the main professor. See all the books he got, he was the man over there. They loved him.
North Carolina's one where they had a safe bus, right?
Yeah.
Was that Winston? No. I can't remember.
So look at this guy right here. He look like Michael Jordan.
I was just gonna say.
Don't he?
Yeah, he do.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he do.
So watch this though. Watch this. He the first black man to cross the color line in professional golf. Class of 1933. It's Booker T. Right out. See, we ain't talking the massacre stuff. We talking about what people did out of Greenwood. Don't get it twisted now. We did some great things over here. You know, first black man. We always thought it was Lee Elder and Charlie Silford, right? But it was him. He gave the game to them. But it wasn't called the PTA at the time. You see? But so they put me in postmortem. I can't stand that word because I can't pronounce it right. But when you die, they give you a award. Give me mine while I'm living. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, it's 20%.
Jeez. Right. 19. Next week, a week after one, the 26th. So I like to tell about her, right? She the class of 42, right? She a dean of school of nursing at the University of Tulsa, director division of nursing in University of Massachusetts, director of nursing education UCLA, associate director of nursing Sinai Sinai Hospital, Los Angeles. That's huge. That's where Michael Jackson died at.
Yeah, that's a big.
Yeah, that's huge. She was a consultant of Veterans Administration in California, Oklahoma Woman of the Year 1983. What's the kicker? She started out as a junior college in Coffeyville, Kansas. Went to Bellevue in New York, got her RN. Went to Hunter College, got her BS, her MA in Columbia in New York. She did all her stuff in major cities. You know what I'm talking about? That's huge. That's huge. That's all they got, this little bit right there. But this encapsulates everything right here. I like, you know, that's just some real good history right there. So right here is this lady named Lucille Childs. That's my oldest first cousin. That's my daddy's oldest sister's daughter. Of course, she's dead now. She'd been over 100 years old. And but my grandmother, I told you about my grandmother when I was telling y'all she went blind at 25. This the only grandchild she got to see. Everybody else used to rub our heads and do like this, napping. Because her husband was mulatto. My grandfather was a mulatto man. He passed and everything. My dad's dead. He was able to pass. You know what I'm saying? She was an Indian, darker than me and you. Indian, full blood, Muscogee Creek, right? And so he came up. That's what a lot of men did. They came up to get them a wife, and so they get the land, and they was giving away land to them.
Oh, you saying what through the trails after? Afterwards,
in 1866, there was a treaty came out. See, treaties are the supreme law of the land. You know what I mean? They still is, right? They was
48.
Right.
So you put something.
This is my cousin. His mother, his daddy is my mother's brother, but his mother is Cherokee, and they
were to walk into any mosque in America, and you just laid your hands on the first person or the third person that you see, you realize that you're laying your hands on a Native American?
I believe
there were only 8% of the slaves that came to America. So how is it that there's so many more people that they claim are black or African American? I think they got the numbers wrong, because a lot of Native Americans are the ones that they're counting as black folks too. A lot of Native Americans are the ones that they're counting as black folks too.
Just got on the road.
Yeah.
Dawes Road.
Yeah.
Dawes Road.
My cousin here.
So you said black men were coming up here to get wild.
Mostly white men, melanated, you know, white guys.
So they can get land.
Yeah. So There was a story called about the Osage Indians, the killing of the flower moon. About the Osage Indians, right?
That movie with DiCaprio.
So most of them was dark melanated Indians. They don't tell it anything. They ain't gonna tell you that. They ain't gonna tell you that. They want you to think that they was the Mongoloid Indians. Right. These people from Mongolia. You know what I'm saying? Out of Siberia. Them Siberian people. Them people ain't indigenous people.
What you say that name of
Killers of the Flower Moon, I believe it is. The Flower Moon.
Man, it's a good movie, bro. You gotta watch that ASAP.
It talks about Greenwood in it too. Y'all see Joe's Vacation? Tyler Perry's.
Oh yeah.
Did you see Joe's Vacation? Yeah, y'all didn't see Greenwood? Y'all seen it? You paid no attention. Joe was a pimp.
Yeah.
Joe was a fat foot pimp, man. I don't know what they talking about. I understood it, but a lot of people didn't like it, but I liked it because Tyler wasn't playing no woman.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? You know, But it was so much. Oh, right here too. I usually read this, but I cry when I read it though. But it kind of talks about Greenwood. You see they made the Greenwood Orchard Pine Gap. Yeah. So that's the Gap Band. It was Greenwood, it was Orchard, Pine Street Band, right? So that's what that is. But I cry. Honestly, I don't want to cry in front of the kids. And so it's my documentary. You understand my documentary, I did the same thing. But it's Avenue Project. The acronym is GAP. That was genius of me, wasn't it? But that's telling not everything, but some of the stuff was, that is going over Greenwood, what you did when you went down Greenwood, what you would see and what would be here and what would be there when you go east on Pine. So they went east. They didn't go back west. They didn't turn left when they got down there. White folk was over to the left. Negroes went to the right, but they got to the light.
So what was Greenwood like in the 70s, 80s, and 90s?
So it was nothing. It's gone. It was just vast dry. He can remember that. It was nothing down here. It was nothing. See, he don't remember the train track. And he went, how old are you? 54 years. So he got like 12 years under me, like 11 years under me.
Nothing over here.
It was gone. It was a house. Like that house was still here, but it was up here. And the street went straight then, but then they started building the school.
So I see 50s. So 60s and 70s is kind of where.
That's when it went, yeah. It kind of got blighted too, and you know what I'm saying? And like how she was talking about taking the man out the house and stuff, and that's why people just, And so when they moved out, I don't think he was born when they moved out north on 54th, but they was like my grandmother and his dad, my mother's mother and my mother's brother, his dad, they was like the first blacks on an all-white street. Then they eventually left. So all those schools out there, everybody, Gilcrease, that's a white man. Sam Houston, that's a white man, right? And so, but we went to them though since the 70s. Yeah. We got 50 years in going to school out there, right? But one time everybody went to Booker T no matter what. Then they rezoned it. Some still going to Central downtown, which was a white school. Yeah. They changed the game up. Come on, y'all. They changed the game up. This is kind of like a story about, the first 4 or 5 people that they always talk about during the massacre. O.W. Gurley, the Williams family, Simon Berry, A.C. Jackson, the doctor who got killed. There was a doctor who got killed in the massacre. A.J. Smitherman, he had the newspaper before the family that have it now. And so, but I like Simon Berry the most, right? Because Simon Berry, he had a transportation service, and he had planes. This black man had planes, and he would fly for the tycoons, the oil tycoons. And then he had a bus line in Tulsa, right? In Greenwood called the Jitney Bus Service, right? So he eventually sold his bus service to the city of Tulsa. So the city of Tulsa would become some type of municipality. I can't say that word. But anyway, they needed that bus line. And he sold that bus line to them with the provision that black men would always drive in Greenwood in the city bus. And I remember as a kid getting on the number 8 Greenwood bus, and it was a black bus driver. Hey, come on, family. I want to get a picture of y'all on this side right here. center of wealth and enterprise in Black America. However, Greenwood's prosperity was met with consistent resentment from Tulsa's white community. In 1910, the city of Tulsa annexed Greenwood, but denied Black residents access to basic services. Tulsa also experienced exponential growth driven by oil profits, which resulted in white developers frustrated by being able to access Black-owned land in Greenwood. Despite the devastation and tremendous loss of life in 1921 massacre, Greenwood surviving residents rebuilt the community. The Greenwood district reached its economic peak in 1930s and 40s, bringing back the Black-owned businesses and Black medical providers to the area. By 1950, Greenwood boasted even more amenities than before the massacre, earning its popular title, Black Wall Street. Urban renewal projects in the 1960s and the 70s, such as Interstate Highway 244, seized and demolished much of Greenwood's commercial property. The legacy of resilience is still evident today in Greenwood.
So they built it back up, had more, and the highways destroyed it. Wow.
The urban renewal and eminent domain, to me, did more damage than what happened at the massacre. That makes sense?
Yeah.
I know life was lost during the massacre, but generational wealth was lost during urban renewal. Because somebody could have been Walmart, right? Could have been Mr. Cannon's. That was his, he had a dry goods store, right? Mr. Cannon did. But he had an opportunity because they wiped him out.
You don't think generational wealth was lost during the massacre as well?
I mean,
you took out and burned down all the Black
but they built back up though.
But not all of them.
Well, they left. Those people left and did well. Like J.B. Stratford, his family did real well after he left. Some people just in them to do well, right? Like, you know, that's just what it is. Like, some people did leave, but most people stayed and built back up again. I mean, they took generational wealth in too, right? If it never would have happened, what would it became? That we can say that too. Like a white woman asked me one time, I was walking with her, she cried the whole time. What if we go back to separate? But I said, it won't work because we don't own nothing no more. Separate but equal, they took everything. Yeah, the ball players and stuff, they got a lot of money. Because you know, most of them guys, when they get out the league, they broke in 12 years. Broke.
Separate but equal won't work in today.
No, it won't. No.
You know why? Because we've just been too conditioned in our demographic.
Right.
We've been too conditioned to be too dependent on others.
Right.
And not dependent on the community.
Right.
That's what a lot of us, we don't like seeing each other doing well.
Well, when we desegregated though, you know what I'm saying? I mean, when we was together, sometimes I didn't like my neighbor, but I had to deal with my neighbor.
You were forced to. You had to.
I mean, well, forced, you can say forced, right?
Through segregation, like you couldn't.
Right.
You had to spend $1 with the brother.
That's why.
Because you couldn't spend it nowhere else.
I mean, what other better place to spend it though?
Right. Yeah.
Because like I said, that wino got that same money as that man, the richest man got. He just stack it, but he spent that same money because that same money just moves around continuously. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Money never left, ever.
So
look at your neighbor, say ever.
Ever.
It never left.
Never left.
Ever.
Oh man.
I mean, you know. So Red Cross said there was 36 deaths. That could be true. Reason being, watch this. Red Cross had a triage. And if you was injured, you would go to the triage, right? Some people went gravely injured. And I guess the 36 was gravely injured. Oh, that's just a flat out lie, right? That's even more than a lie too with 300, right? Because if you got over 10,000 people displaced, that don't even add up. That displacement can mean death too.
Yeah.
So
I always thought it was a lot more.
Yeah, it's probably more way more.
I always thought it was 3,000 to 4,000.
Could have been. Could have been.
Bombs and stuff, people getting burned.
Right, they burnt
kidnapped,
a lot of people.
all kind of stuff.
They burnt a lot of people. There's a hotel around the corner called the Smalls. And that's where, you know, all the entertainment stayed when they came.
Yeah,
doing like, yeah. So it's set right here. So if it's set right here,
and it's right there too then, huh?
Let the church say
Amen.
wiped all the foundations away so people couldn't rebuild. Yeah.
Urban renewal.
I'm sure. So it didn't go that way to the 80s. That's to the 80s.
Now, right now I'm in Tulsa. I'm not in Oklahoma City, so I just decided to go by the Wingstop because the hotel ain't got a lot of places. So I'm in this parking lot. They got a Walmart. Man, it looks like, I'm gonna tell you, man, the natives got it locked down. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of stuff going on in the tribes, but people, they got a couple dollars down here. They just don't look like they got money, but they got money, man. And I don't think there's a ton of government assistance either, to be quite honest. So the weather is really, really good. I didn't know I was supposed to keep this refrigerated. Y'all don't mind the dust. Mandy's Fresh Lemonade supposed to be off the chain. I was supposed to keep this refrigerated. I shouldn't have listened to nobody else. But that store where I got that from that sister down in Greenwood, I got the little baby rap snacks. They got all the black-owned business stuff up in there. Man, I'm about to bring this in the hotel. Damn.
Were of mixed blood heritage, who had been married to Cherokees and Cherokees married them, were also put on that trail. But because of that mixture of blood, they were a little more resilient than the Cherokees, the Choctaws, the Chickasaws, and all of those other people from those 6 tribes. We would carry the bags of these people. At night, they would hunt for food. They would cook food for the survival of the tribes of people on the trail. They tell these lies about, well, no, they were slaves. Well, if they were slaves, it wasn't the same kind of a slave that the white man had. We actually served as protection for a lot of black people. And when the white man come to us and say, you know, I think that's my slave over there, no, I don't think so. He's part of us. We would protect him. And they use this thing about, oh, Cherokees had slaves. Black folks had slaves too. Y'all don't talk about that. Those free black people that were here in America before the institution of slavery. You don't talk about that. So, over the years, that relationship, that family stayed intact until lately, in the 1900s. You get these Indians that are native and white. They bear the same mindset of the same white man that we've been talking about, of wanting to control everything and everybody. And then, of course, after the American Indian movement and the onset of casinos, let me tell you the story behind that. The Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma have a very well-ran, lucrative casino. And members of the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma, members of the tribe, get a monthly allotment check. And then when they elected this fool, Chad Smith, who is white and Cherokee, as chief and also a lawyer and a businessman, only because of his personal dislike of dark people, he started using lies like, well, if we kick these freedmen out of the tribe, then y'all's checks will be a little more each month. And that's the issue. It wasn't about a person's color, it was about money. And if you follow the money trail, if you follow any history of any people, that when it comes to money, the greed begins to set in. So they voted the freedmen out of the tribe. People that have been in the tribe for centuries, they got bloodlines in the tribe for centuries. But it backfired on them. Because when I went to Oklahoma 15 years ago, I went there for the Red Earth powwow. And I took some of my staff with me. Some of the women were with me. Because we were invited to come there. We were met by the organizers of the powwow. Immediately, they gave all of the women with me these dance shawls. Just like in Islam, women must cover their heads. Women don't go into a dance arena without a shawl. And then they escorted us into the circle of honor. And they spoke of me, the only voice in Washington, D.C. that speaks for Native America and tells the truth. And I got that honor, and I'm honored that they would do that for me. Later on that day, I met Marilyn Vann, the president of the Cherokee Freedmen's Association. We sit down, and she told me about the plight, the fight, the racism that was involved with members of the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma, and how they were just fighting to get back and get their tribal membership back, thus the benefits. And it's been a fight for 15. The worst enemy that an Indian can have is another Indian. Think about that. The same with black people. The worst enemy that black people have had has been another black person. The bourgeoisie Oreo cookies.
On your radio show, it was interesting last week about the Cherokee and the Freedmen.
The Cherokee Freedmen. When Andrew Jackson decided that he wanted that land in the southeastern part of the United States for white people, there had already been peaceful treaties and peaceful coexistence between Indians and whites. But when he saw that there was a way to make money, a profit, he decided that he was going to round up all of the 6 they call civilized tribes, like no other tribes were civilized, and moved them out west on what became known as the Trail of Tears. He rounded them up and put them in the stockades. And thousands of these people died even before he decided in the coldest winter to make them walk from the south to Oklahoma, from Georgia, Mississippi, and Alabama to Oklahoma. The United States government told him, don't bother those people. And his answer to them was, I got the army, try and stop me. So he carried out this march. Before there was a trail of tears, and before there was a Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma, there was a Cherokee Nation here on the East Coast. From the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean to the northern border of Florida and the southern border of New York, all of that was Cherokee land. And in the travels of the African people here as free people before slavery, and in the travels of the African people here as free people before slavery,